Hello, my name's David Addamo and welcome to video number 6. Today we're going to be showing you what drain and press is all about. We have a tank here that's been fermenting for the last 8 days and it's time to do the drain and press. Before I get started showing you how we drain and press, I want to let you know what we've been doing for the last 8 days. In video number 5, we talked about fermentation, we talked about how we punch down, and so for 8 days we've been punching this tank down 3 times a day through its fermentation process. One of the key things with that is during the fermentation we have to make sure that the tank does not overheat and get too hot, because if it gets too hot the yeast will start to die off and your fermentation will not be successful. So what we do is we control the tank by trying to keep the temperature around 85, 87 to 90 degrees is where I like to have the tank going through fermentation as close as you can get it. Sometimes it gets hot, sometimes it gets cooler. But doing that will allow the fermentation process to go further, longer period of time versus trying to finish within 3 or 4 days, and that's when you might get stuck, have a stuck fermentation and not have all of the sugar converted. So what that means is when we started, we were at like 25 bricks of sugar when we started the fermentation. And every day we come and check this tank to see where the sugar level is. And how we test that is with the hydrometer that's right here. And what we do is we'll pull a sample out of the tank every day, and this tells us where the sugar level is. And so for example, I'm going to show you, I pulled a sample out of the tank and I'm going to pour it in here. And so yesterday we checked this tank, and what you can see on the hydrometer, we're at 0 and just a little bit below 0, which is right where we want to be. That's telling us that the fermentation was successful and all of the sugar has now converted into alcohol and the tank is dry. So once we've seen that it went to 0 and slightly below, we can now determine that it's time to drain and press. But throughout the 8-day period, this hydrometer was like I said, at 25, and as the days went on through fermentation it would go down to 15, down to 10, and if you do it properly it'll keep dropping so many bricks every day. You don't want it to go too fast and you don't want it to get stuck. So this was successful. We're at 0, slightly below, so now I've made the call that we want to drain and press this tank. So that is what we're going to do next, now that we know the tank is went all the way dry. So after we've tested this, what we're going to do here, got our sample. So the first thing we do to drain and press the tank is at the bottom of the tank we have what we call the free run. And the cap has raised up above, which is all of the grapes that have went through the fermentation process. So what we're going to do is we're going to drain the tank first and get all of the free run into this device that we had built here, which the wine will go inside of here, just the pure free run, and then we're going to pump the wine out of this tank here and into a big tank to have it settle out. So that's another part of what we do. During the drain and press, we get everything drained. Then I'm going to show you how we press it inside of the press. But all of the wine is going to end up in this tank here behind me to settle out. And that's something we like to do versus going straight into barrel. There's a lot of different ways people do this. They'll use the free run and go straight to barrel. I mean, there's a lot of different things, but what's worked for us is we will drain and press everything, put it into a tank, and let it settle for like 2 days. And what that does is it lets everything settle to the bottom of the tank, kind of gives it an opportunity to get clean. And then at that point, we will barrel it down into barrel, and it's just a lot cleaner. We've got rid of a lot of stuff by letting it settle out. So let's get started here. So this tank is ready. We're going to start draining it. So I'm going to pull this lever here, and we're going to get what's out of the bottom. It's called the free run. Basically, this is all pure wine now that's been dry. And as you can see, we're just going to keep draining this tank out. And we have this screen here to catch all of the grapes, because all of these grapes are going to end up in the press. So, but this is just the free run that's at the bottom of the tank right now that's coming out. This wine is just very dark. It's got great flavors. I think personally it's one of the best years that we've had. It's just everything has worked out really well. So we will continue this process until this whole tank down here below gets filled up. Then we will drain it to another tank that, like I said, here behind me. And so we're just going to continue this process doing the free run right out of the bottom of the tank. Once it's completed and there's no more free run coming out of the bottom of the tank, that's when we're going to open up this door and start taking the rest of the grapes out, and then we're going to put that into the press, and then we'll show you how we press the wine. So the term drain and press is right now we're draining the tank. So this is the drain part, and here shortly we're going to go over to the press part. So we'll continue here shortly showing you how we press the wine. Okay, now that we've drained everything out of the tank, and we've got all the free run out of the bottom of the tank, now we've got the leftover grapes that we're starting to fill up the press with. Now there's different types of presses. There's basket presses, and this particular one is called a bladder press. It's got a really large bladder inside of there that blows up like a balloon. So we fill it up with all the leftover grapes, and once it's full, it will rotate, and the air inside of the bladder will start to swell up and press the leftover grapes, and that's where the juice is coming out of the bottom, and that's how we press the wine out. So right now we're filling it up, and as you can see on the bottom, it's already leaking out. Once we've got it all the way full, we'll start the rotation and we'll start our program, and everything will start to press out. Hope you've enjoyed this video of the drain and press. My name's David Addamo. Thank you for watching.